my dear students. Today we can study our 6th lesson, heat transfer. Actually, this is the continuation of the lesson heat that you studied in grade 7. First, we can study what is heat. In lower grades we studied heat is a form of energy that flows from hot body to cold body. But every year I told you already we have to modify the definition. So here also we are modifying the definition of heat. You know that all the molecules are in motion. If any object is in motion, it has kinetic energy. So these molecules also have kinetic energy that we are calling internal kinetic energy. Also, the molecules are attracted by strong intermolecular force. So because of that position, they have potential energy, internal potential energy. The sum of internal potential and kinetic energies we are calling internal energy. Heat is the internal energy. What about the unit of heat? Joule. SI unit of heat is joule. Another unit of heat is calorie. So what is the relation between calorie and joule? 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joule. Whenever we are studying heat, next we have to study temperature. Do you know what is temperature? That also we studied in lower grades as temperature is a measure of heat. But here we are studying temperature as the measure of average kinetic energy. How it will be? When we are heating an object, all the molecules are getting energy. They will start motion. Their kinetic energy increases. So when the temperature of an object increases, its kinetic energy also increases. In that way, we can define temperature as a measure of kinetic energy. What about the unit of temperature? Degree Celsius or Kelvin. That's only the introduction of this lesson. Next topic is effects of heat. There are 3 effects of heat. First one is change in temperature. That's very easy. When you are heating an object, its temperature increases. When you are cooling an object, its temperature decreases. There are 2 factors affecting this change in temperature. First one is quantity of heat given to or rejected from a body. If you are giving more heat to an object, the increase in temperature or change in temperature will be more. If you are giving only a small amount of heat to an object, the change in temperature will be less. Also, the change in temperature depends upon the material of object. Because different materials have different specific heat capacity. Do you know the term specific heat capacity? Or do you know heat capacity? Heat capacity is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of an object by 1 degree Celsius. Specific heat capacity is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of unit mass of an object by 1 degree Celsius. Different materials have different specific heat capacity. So if you are giving same amount of heat to 2 different objects, the change in temperature will be different for them. So you should know the specific heat capacity also. Next effect of heat is change in state. Actually, the change of state you studied in lower grades in physics and chemistry, this year also you studied in physics itself, first lesson, change of state. So here I am not going to take it again. You have to study only that diagram. In this change of state, you have to study one more point. In first term exam also, there was a question why the temperature is constant during the change of state. Less than 10 students only answered for that question. So what is the answer? During the change of state, we are giving heat. Sometimes the object will reject heat also. That heat is utilized for breaking the intermolecular force of attraction. So what will happen? The molecules will move. That means their position changes, their potential energy changes. If there is any change in kinetic energy only, there will be change in temperature, because we already studied the definition of temperature. Temperature is a measure of kinetic energy. Next effect of heat is change in size. This effect of heat in this lesson we are going to study in detail. Change in size means when you are heating an object, it will expand, and when you are cooling an object, it will contract. Why? When we are heating an object, molecules are getting energy, they will start motion, the separation, intermolecular separation between the molecules will increase. Because of that, it is expanding. Next topic is absolute zero. Already we know that when you are heating an object only, molecules are getting energy, they are moving, their kinetic energy increases. Just opposite, when you are cooling an object, molecules are not getting energy, so they will decrease their motion. Like this, if we are continuously cooling an object, the energy of molecules is decreasing, the motion of molecules is decreasing, and at a particular temperature, the molecules, they don't have energy, they will completely stop their motion. That temperature is called what? Absolute zero. So absolute zero is the temperature at which molecular motion completely stops. Next topic is change of liquid into vapor state. This will happen by two methods. First one is evaporation. This also we studied in this physics textbook first lesson. Evaporation means the change of liquid to vapor at all temperatures from the surface. So many examples also you studied. Factors affecting the rate of evaporation also you studied. Which are the factors? 5 factors are there. First one is temperature. You know that on dry days, wet clothes will dry fastly comparing to cool days. Why? When the temperature increases, the rate of evaporation increases. Next factor, humidity. Humidity means what? Presence of water droplets in air. If humidity increases, there will not be any space for the molecules from liquid. So what will happen? Rate of evaporation decreases. On humid days, it will be very difficult for drying wet clothes. Third factor, area of surface. You know very well that if you have younger ones, if they are drinking milk, so first the milk will be hot. For giving to them, your mother will keep it in a flat dish. For what purpose? When the area of surface increases, the rate of evaporation increases. It will be easy to cool when you are keeping the hot milk in a flat dish. Next factor is flow of air. Consider the same example. If we have to drink it fastly, if it is hot water or hot milk, just we will keep it under the fan. Then it will cool very fastly. Here also, when there is movement of air, blowing air or flow of air above the liquid, the rate of evaporation increases. Among these four factors, except humidity, all other three factors are directly proportional to rate of evaporation. But humidity, when humidity increases, rate of evaporation decreases. This also you studied in first lesson, so you can study from there or from this lesson, no problem. Next, method for change of liquid to vapor is boiling or vaporization. Boiling or vaporization means the change of liquid to vapor at a constant temperature. Next, differences between evaporation and boiling. So, in your physics textbook, first lesson, take page number 11. In a box, there are 5 differences between evaporation and boiling. So, study that. For first term exam also there was a question and most of you wrote it well. So again I am not taking that topic. Next topic is effect of pressure on boiling point. Direct proportionality. When pressure increases, boiling point also increases. When pressure decreases, boiling point also decreases. Here there is a chance of 2 important questions as an example of this concept. First one is, at the top of mountains, why it is difficult to cook vegetables? What about the pressure at the top of mountains? In the lesson of force and pressure, you already studied pressure decreases with altitude. Altitude means height from the ground. If the altitude increases, pressure decreases. So at the top of mountains, pressure will be low. When pressure is low, boiling point also low. So what will happen? Instead of boiling at 100 degrees Celsius, water will boil at a temperature below 100 degrees Celsius. It will be difficult to cook vegetables. Just opposite, inside the pressure cooker, the pressure increases, boiling point also increases, so water will boil at 120 degrees Celsius, 120 to 125 degrees Celsius. So vegetables are getting enough time for cooking. So it's very easy to cook vegetables in pressure cooker. This also we studied in 7th grade. Thermal expansion. From that name itself it's clear. Thermal, the word is related with heat. Expansion on heating, that is thermal expansion. Normally all the objects will expand on heating, but there are some exemptions. One we already studied, anomalous expansion of water. What is anomalous expansion of water? When we are heating water from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, water will contract. That means its volume decreases, then its density increases. Just opposite, when you are cooling from 4 to 0 degrees Celsius, water expands, volume increases, density decreases. This will happen when you are heating above 4 to any temperature. So, what is the point here we have to write? Water contracts when we are heating from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Like that, 2 more substances are showing anomalous expansion. They are silver iodide in the temperature range of 80 to 141 degrees Celsius and silica in the range of below negative 80 degrees Celsius. Just know that. Next, we have to study in detail thermal expansion in solids, thermal expansion in liquids, and thermal expansion in gases. So first, thermal expansion in solids. We know that solids have length, breadth, and height. So if we are heating a solid, the change may be in the length of solid or in the breadth of solid or in length and breadth or in length, breadth and height. According to that, there are three types of thermal expansion in solids. First one is linear expansion. Can you say what will be linear expansion? Increase in length, that is linear expansion. When you are heating a solid, when you are heating a solid, if its length increases, the thermal expansion occurred in that one is linear expansion. There are three factors affecting linear expansion. They are, first one, original length. If you are considering a rod, metallic rod, ROD rod, you know, if you are considering a metallic rod, if its original length is more, then the increase in length or linear expansion also more. If you are considering only a short rod, then increase in length will be less. Second factor is increase in temperature. This also, more the increase in temperature, more the increase in length. If you are giving large amount of heat to an object, the increase in temperature will be more and also linear expansion will be more. Third factor is material of the rod. How it will be? If you are giving same amount of heat to copper and iron, both the rods are of same length, then you can see that copper will expand more than iron. If you are having the same object, one is hollow, another one is solid, and if you are giving same amount of heat to both of them, but the linear expansion will be same for both the hollow object and solid object. There is one equation for linear expansion. LT minus L0 is equal to L0 alpha. This term we are calling alpha. How to write it? Just like small a, small t. We don't know the terms. Whenever we are writing an equation in physics, we should specify the terms also. LT is the length of object at temperature T degrees Celsius. What will be L0? Length of object at 0 degrees Celsius. Alpha means coefficient of linear expansion. T is temperature. Next type of expansion is superficial expansion. Superficial means the change in both length and breadth. So what will be change in area? That is called superficial expansion. When you are heating an object, if its area changes, that type of thermal expansion is called superficial expansion. Factors affecting superficial expansion. Here also there are three factors affecting superficial expansion. If you studied linear expansion thoroughly, it will be easy for you to study superficial and the third type, because the same factors, same equation, instead of of length. In linear expansion, here you have to write area. That only. So first factor what we studied in linear expansion, original length. So here the first factor will be original area. Dependence also same way. More the original area, more the increase in area. If you are giving same amount of heat to an object of more area and an object of less area, the increase in area, that means superficial expansion will be more for the object with more area. More the original area, more is the increase in area. Second factor what we studied in linear expansion, increase in temperature. Here also the same factor. If you are heating an object and if you are giving more amount of heat, the increase in temperature will be more, also the increase in area will be more. More the increase in temperature, more the superficial expansion. Third factor what we studied in linear expansion, material. Here also the same factor. Depending upon the material, there will be change in superficial expansion. If you are heating a brass plate and an iron plate, brass plate expands more than iron plate. Here also we have to study the equation for superficial expansion. In linear expansion we used the simple capital L for length. So here superficial expansion, that means change in area. Which letter we have to use? Capital A. AT minus A0 is equal to A0. In linear expansion we wrote alpha as the coefficient of linear expansion. Here beta is the coefficient of superficial expansion. Like B you have to write T. Then we have to write the terms. AT, area of the object at T degrees Celsius. At temperature T degrees Celsius. A0, area of object at 0 degree Celsius. Beta is the coefficient of superficial expansion. Now we have to study the third type of expansion, thermal expansion in solids, that is cubical expansion. Can you say what will be cubical expansion? Here on heating, length, breadth and height of the solid changes. That means volume changes. So cubical expansion means increase in volume on heating. Here also there are three factors affecting cubical expansion as we studied in linear and superficial. So what will be the first factor? In linear and superficial we studied original length, original area. So here original volume. If you are giving same amount of heat to an object of more volume and less volume, the change in volume will be more for the object with more volume. More the original volume, more the cubical expansion. More the original volume, more the increase in volume. Which was the second factor in linear and superficial? Increase in temperature. Here also the same factor. If the increase in temperature is more, the change in volume will be more. More the increase in temperature, more the cubical expansion. More the increase in temperature, more the change in volume. Third factor, material. If you are considering brass ball and an iron ball, the change in volume will be more for brass ball. Or brass ball expands more than an iron ball. Here also one equation we have to study. Vt, volume at T degree Celsius, minus V0, volume at 0 degree Celsius, equal to V0, original volume, volume at 0 degree Celsius, gamma. Gamma is the coefficient of superficial expansion. Do you know how to write gamma? T is the temperature. Vt, volume at T degree Celsius. V0, volume at 0 degree Celsius. Gamma, coefficient of cubical expansion. T is the temperature. Next topic is relation between alpha, beta and gamma. Alpha is the coefficient of linear expansion, beta is the coefficient of superficial expansion, and gamma is the coefficient of cubical expansion. How these are related? You know, alpha means there we are considering length only, change in length. So alpha is to beta is to gamma is equal to 1 is to beta means area means length and breadth. So 2 times length are there 2. Gamma means volume, length into breadth into height, or we can say that 3 times length. So 3. Or you can write it as beta is equal to 2 alpha, gamma is equal to 3 alpha. Anyway, you can write alpha is to beta is to gamma is equal to 1 is to 2 is to 3. That is the relation between 3 coefficients of expansions, thermal expansion in solids. Next we have to study the applications of thermal expansion of solids in daily life. Here all the applications you studied in grade 7. Now we can see a video.
Applications of thermal expansion and contraction of solids. It is a matter of common experience that a solid expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Expansion or contraction could be in length, area, or volume. We use instruments made of different kinds of solids in our daily life. Solids expand during the hot summer months and contract during the cold winter months. Expansions and contractions of solids are sometimes useful, while at times they pose many technical or engineering problems. The thermal forces involved during free expansion of solids when heated and free contraction on cooling are used to fix an iron rim on a cartwheel, to remove a tight metal cap of a glass jar, in bimetallic thermostats. Click on the links provided. In bullock carts, iron rings are fitted on to the wooden wheels. The radius of the iron ring is taken slightly less than that of the wooden wheel. The iron ring is heated. On heating, it expands and its radius increases, enabling it to fit onto the wooden wheel. Later on, the iron ring cools and shrinks to its original size, clamping itself firmly to the wooden wheel as shown here. A metallic cap stuck on a glass bottle can be removed by pouring hot water over the cap. When hot water is poured over the cap, it expands due to a rise in its temperature and can be removed easily. Thermoswitches or thermostats used in automatic switching on and off of the electric supply to any appliance use bimetallic strip. A bimetallic strip is made by riveting two metal strips, usually one of brass and the other of iron, at their ends. On heating, brass expands more than iron, hence the strip bends with brass on the outer side. These bimetallic thermoswitches are used in appliances such as automatic fire alarm systems, electric irons, ovens, etc. The use of a bimetallic switch in an electric iron and in an automatic fire alarm is shown here. To overcome the technical problems caused due to thermal expansion or contraction, gaps are left when railway lines are laid. In industries where hot fluids flow in pipes, loops are provided to avoid bending of pipes. When telephone or electric wires are laid during summer, a small sag is left to allow for contraction during winter. Click on links provided to know more. A long railway track consists of many sections of steel called rails joined to each other. While laying a railway line, a small gap is left in between two rails at their joint to allow for the expansion during summers. If such a gap is not left at the joints of rails, the track will get deformed due to thermal expansion in summer, which may cause derailment of trains. Another method of allowing for the expansion of rails is to use a wet joint between the rails as shown here. When the temperature rises during the summers, the rails expand and their ends slide past each other. In industries where hot fluids flow in pipes, loops are provided to avoid bending of pipes. Loops are provided in the metal pipeline in order to absorb the effects of expansion or contraction of the pipeline due to changes in temperature. If the telephone or electric wires are laid during summer, a small sag is left to allow for contraction during winter. If the wires were laid straight and tight during summer, then in winter the wire would contract. This contraction will produce a severe strain in the wires and may break them.
All of you watched the video. I think you understood all the applications. So here the question will be the why that example or why this one. You have to write the answer as due to thermal expansion. Next topic is thermal expansion in liquids. So we finish thermal expansion in solids. Next type is thermal expansion in liquids. Here we have to study only one type of thermal expansion. Why it will be? Because liquids do not have definite area. So there will not be linear expansion, increase in length. There will not be superficial expansion, increase in area. Only liquids have cubical expansion, change in volume. Again, we have to study here the factors affecting cubical expansion. I am not repeating that. There we studied the same factors here also. Original volume of liquid, material of liquid, increase in temperature of liquid. If more the original volume of liquid, more the increase in volume. More the increase in temperature of liquid, more the increase in volume. Depending upon the material of liquid, the change in volume will be different. Also, we have to study the equation Vt minus V0 is equal to V0 gamma T. Next topic is applications of thermal expansion of liquids in daily life. Here only one application is there, that is mercury thermometer. Do you know the mercury thermometer that is used for measuring the temperature? It has two parts. One capillary tube that is closed at one end, at the other end of capillary tube there is a bulb. In that bulb mercury is there. Bulb is filled with mercury. Why we are choosing mercury as the liquid in thermometer? Because suppose if you are increasing the temperature by 2 degrees Celsius, you increase the temperature from 2 to 4 degrees Celsius. There should be change in volume of liquid, that is cubical expansion of liquid. Let it be 1 centimeter cube. Again, if you are increasing the temperature from 4 to 6 degrees Celsius, that is rise by 2 degrees Celsius. Then for mercury, the increase in volume will be 2 centimeter cube. That means for each 2 degrees Celsius, the change in volume is 1 centimeter cube. That means for equal rise in temperature, uniform change in volume. That means when you are increasing the temperature, the change in volume for mercury is uniform. Because of that reason, we are choosing mercury in thermometer. We finished thermal expansion in solids and liquids. Third one is thermal expansion in gases. Gases also don't have definite area, so they will have only cubical expansion or change in volume. Again, no need to discuss about cubical expansion. Already you know. So write the factors affecting cubical expansion: original volume, increase in temperature, material. If the original volume, more the original volume, more the change in volume. More the rise in temperature, more the change in volume. Depending upon the material, the change in volume or cubical expansion will be different for gases also. This topic we studied in the lesson physical quantities and its measurement. How there will be variation of density with the temperature. When temperature increases, the object expands, means volume increases. But we know the equation for density. Density is equal to mass. Density is equal to mass upon volume. Here volume is in the denominator, so when volume increases, density decreases. How we can say in one sentence? When temperature increases, density decreases. Temperature increases, the object expands. Volume increases, density decreases. And what about this variation in density? Is it equal for solids, liquids and gases? No. The variation in density is more for gases, then less for liquids, least for solids. Because expansion is least for solids, less for liquids, more for gases. So we finished our 6th lesson, heat transfer. Answers of exercise questions I will send through WhatsApp. That's all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.